This is my rough draft for my demonstration. I've decided to do a eulogy of a historical figure, John Wilkes Booth. As we gather here today, I am not here to celebrate the life of John Wilkes Booth, but to celebrate his untimely death. With no time to glorify the horrific act bestowed upon us by Mr. Booth, on April 14th, 1865, he fled Ford's Theater after shooting our beloved president with a .44 caliber pocket cannon. Mr. Booth fled. In the process, broke his leg in his mishap escape. Despite a broken leg, this murderer and his conspirators made it across the Potomac River and was held up at a farm owned by Richard H. Garrett of Port Royal, Virginia. On April 26, 1865, investigators in the U.S. Cavalry caught up with Mr. Booth and his conspirators. After his conspirators surrendered, Booth refused. The investigators set the barn on fire in an effort to get Mr. Booth to come out, and in the process, Mr. Booth was shot in the back of the head and died 3 hours later of a single gunshot wound to the back of the head, similar the way he murdered our president in cold blood. Some might say, as a Christian, how can you celebrate one's death despite his acts? Mr. Booth was a Southern separatist to the very end. He was a Confederate spy during the Civil War, and, his acting career was halted due to an illness. He was an avid supporter of the atrocity of slavery, and that I presume is why he assassinated the man who ended slavery. Just 1 month before our late president was killed, Mr. Booth and 6 Southern sympathizers in March of 1865 tried to kidnap President Lincoln in exchange for peace and the release of Confederate soldiers. This plot failed, and Booth resolved to a far greater extreme: kill President Lincoln. Slavery is an atrocity to man's existence. If out of the death may come peace and healing of a nation that was once at war with itself. John Wilkes Booth did not think the war was over. As history has shown, the end of slavery was only the beginning to make many years of wrong right. Thank you for listening, and good day.